Hey everyone, obviously if you're watching this, you must be interested in what other CTFXers have to say about the divorce of Charles and Alli Trippy, or you just maybe subscribe to me, who knows, 'cause I have very few. First off and foremost, it sucks, and I'm shocked, but I know why I'm shocked, and it's because, the so-called fighting and arguments that Charles referred to in his video on April 8th, 2014, when he announced that he and Alli had separated. Um, we don't see those in the vlogs or any other questionable or marginal things that could cause a stir amongst the CTFXC community. But that's why it's shocking, is because Charles and Alli presented themselves for all these years as a perfect couple, and when you hear about something like they're getting divorced, it's shocking. Like from yesterday's video, um, or that is the video prior to his announcement of getting divorced, you would never suspect that they were having any marital problems. It's because they edit the vlogs to um, make them more pleasant. And they cut out all the bad stuff. To make a more pleasant video and to keep their audience happy, and we appreciate that. But on the other hand, it just makes the shock and the confusion with them getting separated much bigger, because if they were a perfect couple, you would never see them getting divorced. It's just one of those things, you know. People get divorced a lot nowadays, and like when my parents got divorced a while back, I wasn't as shocked back then as I am about this. The reason why is because my dad and my mom were fighting constantly. I knew it was going to happen eventually. And they were always talking about how there's going to be a divorce and all that, and I knew it was coming, so I wasn't that surprised when they told my sister and I that they are getting divorced. But with Charles and Alli, you never saw or heard, I should say, any talk about them getting divorced, any marital problems, period, because they cut out all the bad stuff from their vlogs. And that's what we see as their life, is all the good moments that we see in the vlogs, is because that's the only real means of communication that we have with them, other than like meetups and YouTube conventions and Twitter and whatnot. Other than that's just about as personal as you can get with them, is by watching the vlogs. There's obviously a lot that we weren't seeing, and for good reason too, probably, because they don't need to show that stuff. It's none of our business to know exactly what happened. But Charles, he felt the need to share with us what was going on, and I'm very thankful for him for being honest about it. It stinks. I'm not thrilled about it. I'm sure no one's thrilled about it. The vlogs being edited or censored, if you will. Um, actually, it's a bad word to use. More like, yeah, just edited. It's their life being edited to be presented to us. But it reminds me of all these national tragedies like Sandy Hook and Columbine and Virginia Tech, 9/11. On the average day, you would never imagine something like 9/11 or the Sandy Hook massacre happening. You would never even think of such a thing happening, but it happens. Especially on 9/11, we never would have thought of something like that being possible, but it happened, and then we were grounded into reality, which is really scary for some people, because people don't want to be grounded in reality, because reality is scary. That's why I often refer to news channels like Fox News and CNN and whatnot as horror movies on TVs, because all the things you see, they're just horrible. You just don't want to see stuff like that. Sometimes it just can't be avoided, you know? It's also like Charles's seizures, his cancer and brain tumor and all that, and obviously this announcement of a separation. It's stuff that can't be avoided. It's something that they can't just beat around the bush. They need to address it because there's no way of covering it up. Again, you know, a divorce, you can't cover that up, especially when you're this public with your lives. That's why all these big things, these bad things that have been happening to Charles especially, are so shocking, is because we never see any bad stuff. But when there is bad stuff that just has to be addressed, it's absolutely horrifying. Like, I remember when he had his first seizure. Granted, nobody expected that. Charles didn't even expect that coming. But it really scared me because I've been an epilepsy patient for all 19 years of my life. I had my first seizure when I was 3 days old. It's so scary. And then him being diagnosed with the brain tumor, and then now having cancer, and gladly that he's recovering very nicely from it. It's just horrifying because I've known way too many people that have been affected or have had their lives taken from cancer, and it's ugly. It's it's horrifying and depressing. You know, I've lost family members, um, teachers, and close friends. My family have been affected by cancer, and it's terrible, the things that it does. It makes me feel really bad for Charles, especially because, you know, he's going through a period in his life which is very difficult. Granted, I shouldn't be speaking on Charles's behalf, but it's you would anyone would agree that, you know, cancer and seizures they're not good. Okay, when Charles and Alli, you know, they have to come out with something like this, it brings us back to reality, which in and of itself is scary. It brings us out of this universe in which Alli and Charles are the absolute perfect couple, and that's how we perceived them for all these years. But in reality, I guess it just wasn't that way, and yeah, it's a bummer. But that's just what happens, you know. And I hope Charles and Alli the absolute best. It's gonna be weird not seeing Alli in the vlogs every day, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Alli has to say about this, or hearing what Alli has to say about this. But yeah, I'm sure within the next few more days, we'll possibly be getting more information and more closure, if you will, on this, and maybe it might not be so shocking because I know why it's shocking, but I can't let it go, um, because in my subconscious, Alli and Charles and Alli were the absolute perfect couple, but they're really not. It's like when you find out that your autographed Nolan Ryan baseball is fake after all these years. It's like, what? You know, what is real? You know? Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Charles and Alli getting divorced. Charles has been a big influence on me as far as YouTube goes, being able to talk in front of a camera. I learned all that from Charles because he's so good in front of the camera. It's just gonna be weird seeing him without Alli. I really hope that through this divorce, you know, with divorce there's obviously issues such as money and assets. It would absolutely break my heart, to see them start butting heads over stuff like that, you know, because that divorce is such a terrible thing. You know, again, it's affecting like 50% of American families are torn apart by divorce, and it's it sucks. But I'm hoping that this whole thing works itself out, or I just hope that they're friends through the end. I hope they're friends at the end of all this. You know, in a perfect world, they would just get back together. In a perfect world, this never would have happened in the first place. But perfection is impossible. That's when you come back and realize that this perfect couple wasn't perfect. It's shocking. I still can't find myself to accept that, even though I know why I'm shocked. I'm still feel shocked. Yeah, I'm starting to ramble now. I should go. But yeah, thank you for watching. And if you don't know who Charles and Alli are, go watch their YouTube channel, CTFXC. Uh, very inspiring, very fun channel. Um, but yeah, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening to my rambling and whatnot. And yeah, see you later.